store. I always told you the tables will turn, the tables will turn. Just know that tables will turn. You are my baby. And all the daily damage drive me crazy. But boy, I want you, so don't try to play me. Before we say who's wrong, who's right, just know that tables will turn. You are my baby. And all the daily damage drives me crazy. But boy, I warn you, so don't try to play me. Before we say who's wrong, who's right, just know that tables will turn. Tables will turn, yeah. You gonna learn that maybe it's your turn. We can get it right, all we do is fuss and fight. We be up all night screaming, who's wrong, who's right? Damn, this can't be life. Pointing fingers really hurt me up inside. You are who I want, and I want you in my life. It's no time for crying. I try, you try, baby, I'm tired of trying. Look in my eyes, tell me, is this what you want? You want me on your side, you gon' be my ride or die. This ain't what you want. Don't put up a front. The love here is gone. Boy, just keep moving on. You are my baby. And all the daily damage drives me crazy. But boy, I want you, so don't try to play me. Before we say who's wrong, who's right, just know that tables will turn. You are my baby. And all the daily damage drives me crazy. But boy, I warn you, so don't try to play me. Before we say who's wrong or who's right, just know that tables will turn. Tables will turn, yeah. Tables will turn. Tables will turn, yeah. On the daily damage drives me crazy. Boy, before we say who's wrong or who's right, just know that tables will turn. The tables will turn, and this shit is really wicked. Got me sick up in my stomach, got me living with the sickness. Ew, I'm over it. You know I'm on my shit. It's Wine and Dine Wednesday, y'all. What's up? We had to start with a Nate Star tune. You said that should be there, but now you telling her the same. You're a lame. I'm a goddess. I'm just really being honest. That's a rap, boy. Letting it go. And on the daily, damn, it drives me crazy. But boy, I want you, so don't try to play me. Before we say who's right, just know the tables will turn. You are my baby. And on the daily, damn, it drives me crazy. But boy, I want you, so don't try to play me. Nah. Before we say who's right, just know the tables will turn. Tables will turn, yeah. Tables will turn. Tables will turn, yeah. On the daily, damn, it drives me crazy. Boy, before we say who's wrong or who's right, just know that tables will turn. Tables will turn, yeah. Tables will turn. Tables will turn, yeah. But you ain't just showing. I'm always be good. Just always remember. Before you say who's wrong or who's right, just know that tables will turn. Alexa, stop. What's up, y'all? It's Wine and Dine Wednesday with your girl, Nate Star. Some of you know me as Nate Star. Some of you know me as Tanea. This is full transparency. This is my survival story. This is my testimony. Happy 2024. If you didn't tap into episode 1, we in episode 2. It's Wine and Dine Wednesday. It's full support and encouragement, woman empowerment. That's what we're here for. I'm showing up for me so I can show up for you. It's Wine and Dine Wednesday, y'all. Wine and Dine Wednesday. So today's topic is support, and we're going to jump right in. So this says you are not alone. When you hear support, I want to know, what does that really mean to you? What do you think when you hear support? Do you feel like you have support? A lot of times we go through domestic violence, or we go through things at home and we don't have the support from our household, or if we're living independently with the partner, we don't have the support, from our partner. If we're living with a partner and
we're going through things, we don't have that support from our family. So it's very important when you're in life and you're living and life be life, and we all know that you know what support is, you know what that means to you. And this is why I created Wine and Dine Wednesday. Wine and Dine Wednesday is a support group for women, for domestic violence, for people who just trying to self-develop in business, self-develop with personal, it's all about the support. Support is the one thing that we lack in the community as a whole, is one thing that we lack as women when we are dealing with domestic violence and recovering from domestic violence and healing from domestic violence. And it's very important that you know you are not alone. Like, all different shades, colors, sizes, it doesn't even matter. Like, the important factor is that you know that there's someone there that you can talk to when you need help. There's someone to reach out, that you know what your resources are when you are trying to get out of a situation, or when you are going through something and you feel like it's just hard on you. And a lot of times as women, we just say like, oh, it's going to be okay. I got it. I got it. I got it. And we really don't got it. We deal with depression. We deal with heartbreak. We deal with so many different things in one bubble that is really hard. So, you have to remember, use your voice, stand up, say something. Together we rise. If you do it alone, it's going to be harder. It's going to take longer. It might hurt a little bit more because you don't have nobody there saying it's going to be okay, or I got your back, whatever the outcome is, whatever the consequence is. Because when you're dealing with domestic violence, a lot of the things that you do, a lot of your actions come with consequence. And sometimes those consequences are hard. They're hard to bear, especially when you're walking away from your husband, when you're walking away from somebody you love, somebody you committed to, somebody you gave all your life, your time, your energy, and it wasn't reciprocated. Like, it's hard to go through those things by yourself. We are here to empower each other. You have to do your part for you. You have to stand on your own, walk in your own shoes, and be strong through any situation, because support is hard to find. And sometimes you don't have the support from friends or family or spousal. You have to support yourself. You have to know, what does that look like? Me waking up every day with a positive mind, knowing that it's a mindset shift and not just what's around me. It's not just the environment or what you're going through. It's how you accept what it is you're going through, how you react to what it is you're going through, and it's about having strength through all of that. You have to be strong through it, because like I said, it gets hard. It's very heavy. A lot of these conversations are not talked about. A lot of these conversations are frowned upon. A lot of people don't want to get into the real details of what it is and how it is, and the truth of reality that we go through this. If you're following my page on Instagram, thank you. Let's stop for a second. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can always participate or get notifications about when I'm going live and when I have further classes. But you don't want to keep going through heartache. You want to be able to say something. You want to know the warning signs of when you're there, when it got too hard, when it's been too much. You have to support you. If nobody else do, you have to support you. You have to pat yourself on the back. You have to do the mindset change of knowing your boundaries, knowing who you are, what you want, where you're going in life, and know you're not alone. This slide, it means a lot to me, because do you know the red flags? Do you know the signs? Do you know when to get the support, when to talk to somebody, when to reach out? Do you know how to reach out and get those resources that you need when you're moving on, when you're in transition, changing from one situation to the next, when you have to up and leave your whole house, leave everything behind and start over? Like, where do you go? What's the next stop for you? A lot of the times we self sabotage ourselves. Like, we beat ourselves down more than what society is even beating us down, because like I said, this is a heavy topic. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, and when they do talk about it, it gets frowned on. And then a lot of times, we be like discouraged to talk about it, or you could say a lot of times we feel like we rather not talk about it because of the judgment of other people. So, the heartbreak right there, sometimes it's just a heartbreak that's hard to deal with. Sometimes is we're breaking our own hearts just to keep accepting the things that we're going through because we think they're the only person who supports us is the person who's beating us down mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, you need to know what to look for and when to say it and when to not say nothing at all. Sometimes your support system could come from your group of friends and they'll be like, oh, we going to that nigga up, da 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 da. Whether it's a him or her, it's no judgment here, but they be on go. So you don't want that type of support because sometimes that's not what you need. And then sometimes support is like, okay, I support what you're doing, but I know you're gonna do the same thing again. So there's only but so much I could do. And then there's support that is actually somebody who's there just to listen, so you can vent, so you can get through what you're going through. Support is not always somebody coming to save you. It's not always somebody pulling you out of the situation. Sometimes it's just somebody being there to not judge, to not listen, and sometimes that support comes from God. I talk about not getting religious with this all the time, but God is my life. God saved me. God pulled me out from this, and that is my testimony. And I can't change it. I can't look no other way. I can't push it aside because if I didn't find God, I probably would still be getting beat and still be hurt and still be in that mental control of somebody else who doesn't value me as much as I value me. This is about self love. You have to learn to love yourself first. When you love yourself first, it brings you all the happiness you need. It brings you everything you could ever think about. Like, there's nothing like self love. And it's not easy. It's not easy to get that. It's not easy to find that. And it comes with, again, knowing your boundaries, knowing what the red flags are, knowing when to walk away, knowing to have the strength, knowing to use your voice, to speak up. A lot of the times we speak up, like I said, what we're going through is frowned upon or is not approved, or people be like, oh, that's just things that happen, but you don't want to walk away because you'll be struggling. And a lot of people, they don't know how to struggle. They can't deal with the struggle. I thank God that I'm able to go through. I've been beat. I had broken jaws, broken ribs. I've been homeless. I had house fires. Like, I've been through so many different transactions and transitions in my life that they all took a healing to get through. And it took me a lot to get through it. Sometimes I had support, but a lot of the times I didn't. And this is why I do Wind It Down Wednesday, because I didn't have the support. There was nobody there to pick me up. There was nobody to tell me it was okay. There was nobody to take me back and forth to work to make sure I can afford my bills. I didn't have the support. And when I used my voice, in the beginning, sometimes people listen and then you go back and it's like, all right, now they don't want to listen. So, they're not able to go through the trial with you. This is a trial, it takes time. Sometimes people say they want to walk away and they end up going backwards because they don't know what walking away really looks like. They don't know if how to deal with the next step of the struggle of healing, of getting away from the negativity, living with the positive mindset, living with goals, standards and boundaries. A lot of the times we fall short of our own boundaries just because of comfortability. Like, you have to be uncomfortable in life and success. You have to know how to be comfortable. Y'all know my baby is always in one on Wednesday. And he's banging and making noise right now. So excuse the noise in the background. But you know, you have to know what support means to you and what it looks like. And that's how you could best evaluate if you are in a position where you have that support and you can see some growth and some change. Hold on. And we're back. Like I said, life be life, and but you have to know what support means to you. If you see the growth, if you're really being supported with what you're doing and how you feel, and if you're doing the right thing. Some people might feel like you're not doing the right thing. Some people think like, oh yeah, I am doing the right thing, and there's just nobody to support me, so that makes it a lot harder. And sometimes when things get hard, people go back instead of going forward, and there's no room to go back. There's no going back for me. Everything is forward and upward movement. We're moving on, we're moving past. That's why I started with tables turn, because you might be here right now in a bad place, or you might be in a situation that you can't see your way out, and the tables will turn, and they turn real quick, real fast, unexpectedly, but they undoubtedly change. So you always want to remember, when those tables turn, where do you stand? What position does that leave you in? And then when you loving yourself, it makes it so much easier and so much better, because you have more clarity, you have more understanding, you're in a better position to know what's for you is going to be for you, is going to come to you, and that's the best thing. So if you're just joining in, we're talking about support. Is One is on Wednesday, episode 2. But I wanted to say, my whole chain of thought be moving with this thing, because I could go on for days and days and days about, how to evaluate your situation, or what to do to grow in the situation, or how to get out of it. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. It's about what your mindset is. It's about you wanting to see the change, you wanting to be the change, you becoming the change that you want to see in your life for the better. And so, you know, I just can't stress it. Like, support is everything, and it's hard to find. So I said earlier, if you're following me on IG, you've seen I posted something today. It was a girl. She was beat up bad. Like, I think she was beat up worse than Rihanna in the video. God forgive me. It's not even funny. But, her message was, she had to move on. I can't tell you how many times she got hit, or what she's been through, and, when did she learn enough was enough, because it's enough. I know you seen J Lo, enough is enough. Eventually, you're gonna have enough of bad situations, of abuse, mentally and physically, if you can recognize it. Recognizing it is a key factor in it. But you know, you have to be strong enough to walk away. When she realized enough was enough, one thing she said, and what made me share it, is because one is Wine and Down Wednesday. Y'all know we always do support and awareness, because you need to know you're not alone. It's somebody else going through this situation. It's somebody else being abused quietly. It's somebody else talking about it to the wrong people, that's not supporting them, that's not helping them heal, that's not supporting their journey and helping them get out of the situation. And that becomes a problem for me. And again, that's why I do this. If you see something, say something. If you want to share it, a lot of times you can't say something, because that'll make it worse. You can step into somebody's situation and they tell you, oh, yeah, I'm being abused, and they want to go talk to your man. You need to leave him alone. And that just makes it 10 times worse, 10 times worse, because now that man want to beat them up. I done heard situations where the man called and threatened the friend, like, you fucking tell my girl to leave me again, I'll kill you. Or, now niggas want to beef with you just because you trying to help somebody not get beat. Like, so, it's very scary. It's very hard. It's not easy. It takes a lot of strength and power and encouragement. It takes everything. Like, you just have to do your part. Do your part for you. Do enough. And sometimes doing your part is knowing that if they hit you once, they're going to hit you again. It don't matter how much they apologize. It don't matter how much potential you think they have. Like, that be our problem a lot of the time. A lot of the time we feel like, oh well, I know he's gonna change, he's not like that all the time. Or, when it's good, it's so good that you don't even think about the bad, or you don't worry that the bad is gonna happen again, or you don't care that it's gonna hurt again eventually, because when it's good, it's good. They spend money on you. They take you out. They loving on you. They know how to kiss the right spot. Some people do it just for the D. Like, I never had a D like that. I'm never gonna find that again. I can't get to it. What's more important? The worldly things that you could replace. Sometimes you might have to settle for some bad deeds. Sometimes you might get the nigga that don't spend as much money. Or would you rather be beat so you could get some good dick? Would you rather be beat and abused so you could be flossing and blinging and wearing the latest clothes and jewelry so your kids could say, oh, they got mommy and daddy at home, you have to live unhappy? Like, what is more valuable to you? How you feel, your self-worth, how you look at yourself? Sometimes, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time, but we don't look at how our kids see us going through these situations. A lot of the times when we settle, last week we talked about settling. What is that for you? A lot of times we settle in these situations just because we want the material things, or we want the good dick, or we want our kids to say, yeah, my mommy and my daddy is at home, and it's not worth it. It's not worth your time, it's not worth your happiness, and it's not worth your life. There are a lot of people dying still to this day. I can't even tell you the statistics on the amount of cases of domestic violence, because that's just the people who decided to use their voice. That's just the people who decided to speak up and say, I need a change. I want something different. I feel more value and worth of my life. How many people are living in silence? How many people are not speaking up because they're embarrassed about what they're going through and how to feel about what they're going through? Sometimes it's 10 and 15 of us on this live, and it's a whole community of people that's like, yeah, I'm getting through it. And sometimes those people shallow away because they don't know how to say, well, I'm still in it and I don't know how to deal with it. Or I'm still in it and I want to be in it, but I just need somebody to talk to that's not going to judge me. That's not going to say, oh, you stupid for still dealing with that. I would never do that. And, I find it hard sometimes. I'm not even going to lie. And I apologize to the women who are dealing with this. But I can't, I've learned and healed so much from people pleasing, trying to make somebody else happy, that I can't just sit there and settle for nothing. Like, there's a lot of things I can't see myself dealing with anymore since I've changed my mind about what I wanted and what I valued. You know, I'm a survivor. I survived a lot of things, and I feel like my son pushed me there. My oldest son, he really helped me get there, and he pushed me there, and that's why every time he come in and say what's up to Wana's on Wednesday, or this is supposed to be a women's group, but I got a house full of boys. My sons, I got two sons. So as much as I'm supporting women, they still see, you know, they still deal. I said the story before, but my son seen me get abused in different type of ways. And then he also seen me recover from that abuse to where I retaliated. And so it was one time when I got out of that abusive situation, it was just me and him, and he stopped me. He's like, "Mom, you remember that day when you stabbed such and such? I stabbed him with a pen. I don't need the police coming after me." And he dropped to the floor. He started bleeding and shit, but it was dramatic for him, and it was dramatic for my son. It was so dramatic that 3, 4 years later, he came to me with that memory. Like, that hurts. You have to think about what your kids are, what your kids are seeing, what your children are seeing. Is that the image that you want them to see of their mother? The hurt and the pain, or the anger that comes behind being abused and controlled, and mentally put down, physically put down. You have to think about how that affects your whole household, how that affects your environment. I didn't create a post today about environment and community, and I'll think about getting one that we could put like as a general thing. But on the real, like, the environment matters. What's around you, what's around your kids, how they are seeing things go along. It affects them in the long term, and it affects them in a daily. Like, a lot of us as adults, a lot of us, I'm in my 30s, a lot of us 30 and up, we deal with a lot of childhood traumas that we didn't know was trauma. So now, as a survivor, I want to just bring that awareness to you. What does trauma look like? Do you think what you're going through is trauma for your child? Is it trauma for you? Do you want them to grow with that? Is your love for someone who doesn't value you more important than the love of your children? Like, where's your self love? Like, I can't lie to you. You know, I used to be a single mother. I'm still a single mother because I have a son that my baby father don't step up. But I'm not a single mother because my second baby father steps up for both of my sons and he accepts both of them as his one. But there's a lot of things he can't do because he's an older boy. And you know, boys start to smell their balls, you know. That's just how it goes. So at some point I still have to step in, and how I'm dealing with my relationship, what I am accepting, you know, that plays a big part. And if I didn't love myself, you know, if I didn't love myself enough to get away from those bad situations, if I didn't love myself to see that I needed to change in my mindset, in my community, in my environment, I would still be putting myself and my son through that trauma. I wouldn't have found a man that was willing to accept my son. You know, a lot of other guys is, oh, why your kid got to come in the room, or why we can't have privacy. You know, when you're a single mom, a lot of people. Goodbye. Take this thing with you. When you're a single mom, a lot of people don't. They be throwing me off. But when you're a single mom, a lot of people don't want to deal with your kid. Like, it's hard to start a new relationship, and that's why a lot of people stay in abusive situations, or that's why they don't grow from their situations, because you know, the guy don't want the child laying up with them, or the guy don't want them in the room with them, or the guy don't want y'all to spend time as a family because, you know, they want you. They don't want the family. So, you know, a lot of women, they accept it and they push out their children. And, you know, this was not even about children, but it all goes hand in hand because your children are your biggest support. And, you know, if you don't have kids or you can't have kids, you know, I apologize. And I hope that you do find that love and that comfort and that support from someone else in another angle. And if you can't find it from nobody else, I am here to support you. You can reach out to me. My email is in about me. You know, there's ways we can connect. Like I said, you can add me on Instagram. You can follow me on YouTube. Drop some love in the comments. Drop some feedback in the comments. But, you know, support is everything. And when you're a single mother, your kids is the one supporting you a lot of the time. There's nobody else coming to save you. And your kids can't save you because you have to be strong enough to still take care of them, to still get up every day. Make sure they're going to school. Make sure they're clothed, they're fed. Make sure you're clothed and you're fed. Make sure your bills, you still have to pay that phone bill. You still have to pay that light bill. Well, I pay a water bill. The people who don't pay a water bill, you lucky. But we still have to pay the water bill. We still have to pay rent. Like, there's still things that go on. Life is still gonna life, and that's why it's like life goes on. Yeah, you can love somebody and you can care for somebody, but if that feeling is not mutual, or it's sometime mutual, or it's you're pouring out more than you're receiving back, you have to start evaluating what is really life worth to you. You know, I wake up every day and I plan to live. I live. I'm happy about how I'm living. And sometimes I'm not happy. Sometimes it is hard. You know, everybody goes through their own things. But I support me. I know when I'm going through something. I know when I need my space. I know when I need a break. I know when I need to put on some music and clean up my house because my mind ain't right. If I have a dirty house, I have a dirty mind. I can't function right when my house is dirty and I can't see my desk, or, you know, I can't walk through the house without stepping over something. I have a toddler. Anybody who has a toddler knows there's always something on the floor. There's always something being stepped on. It seems like every time I clean up, he goes right behind me and pulls everything right back out. It's like it's stress. So you telling me you dealing with the stress of your children, and then the stress of relationships, and then the stress of work, and the stress and the stress and the stress, and you're okay by yourself with no support? No wonder it's hard. No wonder you settle. No wonder you think it's love when it's really not. Like, if you seen my post before too, I did it with Love is Blind. When I was younger, I was singing Love and Blind like I knew what it was. Love is blind. And it'll take over your mind. Cause what you think is love is truly not. You need to elevate and find. Shout out to Eve. I didn't even know the words I was singing. Cause I still grew up and got in an abusive relationship, didn't know what I was doing, thinking somebody loves me, keep trying and forcing it and forcing it. And it didn't bring me nothing but a broken jaw. Now I got screws and plates in my face, a broken rib. I didn't learn my lesson after the broken rib because I still went back to get the broken jaw. And, now I'm just like, wow, wow. I'm singing a song to myself and I don't even know the words coming out of my mouth. Like I wasn't even listening to myself. I didn't even value myself enough to pay attention to it. And sometimes love could be really disguising, especially when you don't have support, when you don't have that team of friends. Oh, this is my girls, that group of friends, or that big family that you come from where everybody's always calling and staying connected and doing everything together. Sometimes it's just you. You're by yourself. You're alone. And loneliness hurts. Loneliness is hard. Loneliness will make you do some things that you never thought you could do before. And this is why I'm here to tell you. This is why this is my testimony. This is transparent all the way around the board because I can only be me. I can only speak for me. I can only tell you what I've been through. And a lot of times, I thought I had friends that was there to support me and they didn't support me. They would say, "Oh yeah, I got your back," but after I went back 2 or 3 times, they don't want to hear it no more. I don't even want to talk about that guy. I don't want to hear you talk about that guy because guess what? I can tell you everything you need to know, everything you need to do, but you still think you're in love. You still think that's worth more than you. You still think that's worth more than your life. And sometimes you think, well, I love this person so much. They're not going to kill me. Sometimes that death is mentally already on you, on your head, on your mind, on your goals, on your dreams, like, and you don't even realize it because you chasing what you're missing or what you don't have, and you think that's where you're supposed to find it is with them, and a lot of the times it's not. A lot of the times it's not. I'm trying to do better with being consistent. Sometimes y'all see I look crazy. I got on 2, 3 different colors, like. I don't be wanting to come on here like this. This is public. Everybody's going to see it. Everybody has something to say. I'm having something to say about me, but it's about me showing up. It's about the purpose of the point. Like, I'm a survivor. Support is needed, and support is the hardest thing to come by. And I know I'm not alone because I know there's someone right now dealing with this same situation. There's someone right now who's healed from the same type of situation. Now, my hurt is not your hurt, and my situation is not your situation. And even when we're in similar situations, it's still not the same. You can't compare what someone else went through or what someone else is going through and think it's going to be the same for you because every outcome is different. Everybody handles stress different. Everybody notices depression different. Everybody goes through things on their own time, in their own levels, in their own ways. And you have to acknowledge that. You have to understand that. And the more you do that, the better off you are. You know, this is why support is a topic that I bring up a lot. I did 2 different series of ones on Wednesday. One was a 21-week series it was the beginning of this, and hopefully we grow stronger and better as we keep going on. The second one was so inconsistent, so all over the place, so much more developed scene wise. You can go back and watch it on my page. Y'all can see more. But it took a time. Sometimes I didn't have that support. Sometimes I just wanted to give up and walk away. And especially when I'm doing it by myself, when I'm talking to myself, and a lot of people could say, "Oh, I'm so proud of you, keep going," but they're not showing up. They're not talking about what they're going through. And even when they are talking about what they're going through, they still choose to go through it. They're not ready to heal. It's not enough for them. And that's hard for me. That hurts. And it makes me want to give up a lot, but I know I need the support. This is accountability for me. This is my story, and I'm sharing it with you. I'm sharing it in hopes that this motivates you. I'm sharing it in hopes that this uplifts you. I'm sharing it in hopes that you can come use your voice. You can talk about what you're going through. how you got through it. I want other survivors, I encourage other survivors to come to Wine and Down Wednesday. Tell your story, uplift another woman, empower them, show them your strength. Sometimes we can smile and that can brighten up someone else's day. Sometimes, we put on this fake smile to go to work or to life and do the things that we need to do out in public. But behind that smile is really hurt and is really pain, and it's not a space where we can really come and be comfortable and safe and talk about it. This is a safe space. If you feel like it's not safe, you will be blocked. I don't encourage no drama. I'm blocking and deleting. Simple as that. Out of my life, out of my mind, or from my pages. Like, let's get it. I don't got time for it. It's positive vibes only. And I needed this for me. I wish I had the support without having to go to therapy. Sometimes support is therapy, and that's hard. And, I've been there to group therapy, independent therapy. Like, I had to get that help because I thought it was me. I thought I was the problem. Like, I thought I was living wrong, and I was living wrong only because I was accepting things that I should not have accepted. But once you change the things you can't accept and accept the things you cannot change, you live better. You see clearer. Is a lot more you get out of life. It builds your strength for you. It's about the strength, having the strength to get up every day and do even when you don't want to do. It's about putting on that smile even when it doesn't help you because you don't know who it might help. You don't know what life it might save. Excuse me. So, survivors to come to Wine and Down Wednesday and talk about it. I encourage people who's going through to come to Wine and Down Wednesday and know that you are not alone. You don't have to go alone. You don't have to be alone. And you have to know when the warning signs are there. You have to know when enough is enough. You cannot keep self sabotaging. You cannot keep settling. You have to know your boundaries. You have to love yourself. This was nothing but self love put on a platform for everybody to hear. I love myself. I love myself when I'm wearing wrinkled clothes. I love myself when I'm looking fly and my hair is done. I love myself when it's hard and I love myself when it's easy. I love myself enough to know that I can share my love and it's not going to take nothing away from me. I can love someone from a distance. Sometimes the people we look for support, the people we look for confirmation, the people we look for comfort is not there. That's not where we should be. That's not what it is. That's not how we should settle. That's just not it. So you need to, hello, caution, caution, caution. Don't go backwards. Think about it. Pray about it. Don't just do. Think before you do. Evaluate things while you're doing, after you're doing, during you're doing. I don't know. I can go and go and go and go because it's a trial. It's a trial. There's a time. It's not easy. It's very hard, and a lot of the times we rather just say fuck it, throw in the towel. Even me, I thought at one point I had to accept that verbal abuse. I had to just get comfortable with being uncomfortable because I thought that was it for me. I thought that's what I needed. I thought that's what I deserved. And it wasn't. God had other plans for me. And the more I seeked Him, the more I found what was for me was for me. You pray for stuff. Sometimes it don't happen when you pray and pray and make you want to give up. But I definitely got what I prayed for. It's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. But I'm not being abused mentally. I'm not being abused physically. I'm happy. I'm growing. I'm in different situations than I've ever been. Better situations that I ever been. So just know the tables will turn. Sometimes women are the abusers, and I'm not telling you beat niggas up, but I'm not telling you don't beat niggas up either. Make sure nobody's not putting their hands on you and you're not fighting back. Stand up for yourself. You know, don't sit there and stand up for yourself and talk back and do this and do that and think it's gonna be okay. You're not gonna get your ass beat. Like, you have to know what to do and when to be wary. You need to know when to shut up and when you can speak up. You know, It's no other way of putting it. It's no sugarcoating it. It is what it is. But in all of it, you need some support. Whether it's you supporting you because you're getting up physically and you're trying to get it right, or whether it's somebody else supporting you, just being there for you to talk to, or providing you shelter outside of where you are, where you was, where you need to be going. And it's very important that you know where that is at. What does that look like for you? What is support? What does it look like for you? And how do you really feel about it? Do you feel like you have it? Is it something that you know where to find it, or is it something that you need to work on? Evaluating what is support, how you feel about it, what supports you, who supports you. Are your kids being affected by what you're going through? Is that support enough for you? Do you need more? How to find the more and know when it's worth it, or knowing the red signs, the red flags, that's not really support. That's things you need to get away from. But our hour is coming to an end. I'm trying not to extend myself more than what is extended for the situation. Again, please like and subscribe, follow up, join the conversation. Join the conversation. Speak up, use your voice. You're not alone. It's Wine and Dine Wednesday. I usually have a glass of wine. I don't usually have a glass of wine. But some people need a glass of wine to get through this. A lot of times, wine was my go to. Give me some wine, please. Just bring the drinks. Bring the drinks. You can't do wine. Some people do stronger alcohol, but we have the wine. It's not a requirement. You don't need wine to attend. And we dine because sometimes we cook. A lot of the times, I found that cooking is my peace. I like to be in the kitchen. My mother cooks, but I didn't learn from my mother. I just learned from watching. I guess you could say I learned from my mother from watching her, but I more learned when I moved out of her house and I had to feed my child. I had to do it for me. And I wasn't calling her, getting all the recipes and all of that. A lot of things I created myself. A lot of things is common sense. Sometimes I did call her and get some recipes like, how you make this? And I would try and do it myself, and it was successful. Sometimes you fail, but a lot of times it's successful. But you have to just keep doing. It's never going to be perfect in the beginning, but like a recipe, over time, the more you do it, you learn if you're too heavy or you're doing too much, how to fall back, or if it didn't taste good with that, you know how to take it out. You need to know how to take yourself out of situations the same way. When you're in a domestic violence situation, you have to know when you're getting abused, when it's mental abuse or physical abuse, and how does that make you feel? How can you really react to that? Like, you have to know. You have to know. But it's Wine and Dine Wednesday. It's accountability for me. If I'm not doing nothing else, I'm doing this for me so I could keep going, so I could stay strong, so I could keep pushing. And because I know I'm not alone, I know there's someone out there, and I hope this reaches you. I hope that this helps you. I hope that you start your healing journey sooner than later. Do it for you. Don't do it for nobody else. Don't do it for the kids. Don't do it for your mother. Don't do it for the fans. Don't do it for the family. Don't do it for no friends. Don't do it for no clout. Don't do it just because everybody else is doing it and you want to join the bandwagon. Do it for you. Do it for your happiness. Do it because you love yourself enough to know your self worth. Do it enough to know your value. Like, do things for you because there's nobody else coming to do it for you. There's nobody coming to save you. And you just got to do it for you. It's Wine and Down Wednesday, y'all. Tap in with me next week. Next week is Entrepreneurs Week. So bring your business, bring some support, bring some empowerment, bring some goals. We could talk about what's 2024 been like for you so far. Have you started accomplishing any goals, or do you have any goals mapped out? Like, it's onward and upward from here. It's no backwards. It's no step. It's no stunts, and it's no stints. And sometimes we have to stop. You have to remember to rest, reset, but always get up. Always repeat that process. Don't just stop there. Keep going. Keep going. You got this. We got this. Thank you for joining me for Wine and Down Wednesday, y'all. As always, love. And I'm out. It's your girl, Nate Star. This is Wine and Dine Wednesday.